For a lot of business owners out there who are in family business, they may have to fire a family member at some point. So this is theoretical for you, thankfully, but how does a business owner go about that process where they have to have a hard conversation with someone who is family, who is a team member, and terminate them?
It should start before they were hired, and the sad thing is it usually doesn't. So before they're hired, the expectation is that you're going to be better than anyone else in this role in order to be respected, what we said earlier. And if you're not, then expect to be called out on that. And so the standard for excellence is the Ramsey kids, in other words, are more like coaches' kids. I'm harder on them. The leadership teams, even other than me, has been harder on them than maybe otherwise. They got the opposite. If they got any side of the pendulum, it wasn't super hard, but if they don't, not to the point they're disrespected, but there's just an expectation of excellence by everyone in the building. Now, the problem is that someone listening to this right now may be, my uncle was partners with my dad. Now I've bought them both out, and my cousin, who's a drug addict, works in shipping, and you inherited the problem. So you weren't able to set the table ahead of time. And that could be true, though, of any other team member if you took over a business. You could have another team member who's been with the company 30 years and is just lame, and they've just been getting away with it, being a grouch or horrible or whatever they are. And so, regardless of the thing, if you'll just back up and go, would I allow anyone else to act like this? Would I allow anyone else to perform at this level? No. And so whatever the situation, and so you've got to sit down across from the table with them and begin the conversations. And it shouldn't happen in one conversation. It should be a whole series of conversations that start with just identifying the problem and then try to coach and work through the problem together to help them turn the corner. But if your cousin who's a drug addict in shipping is going to keep smoking pot on all his breaks, he's going to have to leave because you wouldn't allow anybody else to do that. Mm-hmm. It's dangerous. People get hurt back there when you're shipping stuff. So whatever example you want to use, but that's the thing. So you just sit down and go, look, I wouldn't allow anybody else to do that. I'm not going to allow you to do that. And so, my daddy started it. Honey, that doesn't work. You don't care who your daddy is. Your daddy's gone. It's me and you now, budda. So we got to work through this. And we're going to have to, you're going to have to perform like anyone else at that role is going to perform. And now let me help you get there so that you can stay.
Yeah, so it goes back to that before stage of setting the table, making sure that we're aligned on the values, the calling, the mission, the expectation, the prerequisites, and you go, hey, we told you there's no favoritism, and so we're going to treat you like any other team member.
But
and
again,
you
might have come in and there was favoritism, and you might go, the bad news is that there's now no favoritism. The good news is that there's now no favoritism, so you're going to have what's called dignity when we're through with this.